This is CWTFB Radio. I am your host, Charlie MaSheen. Also, you already know who was sponsored by Details Audio and Car Detailing in Canton, right on 925 Turnpike Street in Canton, Mass. That's 138 for all your detailing needs, all your car audio needs, remote starters, window tinting. We do it all inside, outside, whatever you want to do. You bring the whole family, you get a few cars washed and things of that nature. But go see my people over there at Details, 925 Turnpike Street in Canton. They'll help you out. Tell them Charlie sent you. Like I like to do, I always like to introduce, my featured guest right now. If you're looking at us and you know who this young gentleman is, you can see who he is. But if you're listening to us, this guy right here is somebody who I have a lot of respect for, right? And he's somebody that I met during one of the Purple Heart Poetry events that I host. And the first time I heard his content, it really blew me away. I was really, really impressed. I was surprised, right? And I was really surprised all because he's doing this at the age of 17, though his substance is crazy, his vocabulary is crazy. And at 17, you're only going to get better. And I'm really, really excited to see what happens with this young gentleman, what he ends up doing with this music thing. So everybody give your undivided attention to my man Doctrine. What's good, baby? How you doing?
What's happening, everybody?
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me on here, man.
Absolutely.
I know we're going to have a fantastic conversation.
Facts.
What I mean?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I feel like life is in a good place for me right now. I feel like the world is in a good place in general, in terms of like, I gauge a lot of things in terms of like positive energy, how things are feeling,
Right.
Because your gut is really powerful.
Right.
So
Intuition.
Absolutely, and
Right.
my intuition, that's a perfect way to phrase it.
Right.
To answer your question, I feel like my intuition is everything is going with a green light. Everything's going in the right direction.
That's awesome, man. We're going to
sure.
get back into that, man, but what
Most
I really
definitely.
want to do is dive into your story, bro, right? So
Right.
for the people who do not know who you are, who is Doctrine, what do you do, where you from, go.
I got you. So, my real name is Alexander.
Right, that's what I remember from the
Right.
from that night at Top.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, my name is Alexander. I was born at South Shore Hospital in Weymouth. So I was born in Weymouth, but I grew up my whole life in Holbrook, Massachusetts. Most people, if you live in Massachusetts, you live in Boston or whatever,
Right.
you might not specifically know like Holbrook, but it's like Brockton, Braintree, Randolph, Weymouth, that whole section.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? If you live in the Boston area, you know at least one of those towns.
Right, but if you ain't got no reason to go to Holbrook, you're probably never going to go
That's
to
a fact.
Holbrook.
Exactly. Precisely. So it's one of those low-key towns. And being honest with you, when I was a kid, I used to have this like thought process. Like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I thought Holbrook, Massachusetts, like thinking how small it was and insignificant it was and compared to all the other towns I would like drive around to with my parents.
Right.
I thought Holbrook was like the end of the earth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I thought that was like the last place on earth.
That's
like,
fucking hilarious.
I don't know why.
That's
But
hilarious.
so basically, if that isn't telling in and of itself, it was pretty insignificant in terms of all the other places I've seen.
Right.
So
what was that like growing up in Holbrook, man? I mean, what was your family life, man? You're clearly half white, half black. I looked at you when I asked you the same question
Right.
last night.
You could usually tell a little bit, yeah.
Right, you know what I
most
mean? Because I
definitely,
looked at you and I'm like, he's not white. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, they're
But,
always like,
and then
there's
I looked
something about that kid.
Right,
You know
I
what I'm
looked
saying?
at your hair
What
and I
it
was
is,
like,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
I'm like, nah, you gotta be mixed. So
Yeah, right.
Was your dad black? Mom
Yeah, my
black?
dad's black.
That's usually how it works.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Them black men gotta get the snow bunnies and whatnot. That's what
I
I
get it.
see.
And your parents are still together?
They are still together.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
that is
Two-parent
good.
household, that's
Absolutely, that is a good way
Very,
to be
very,
raised.
very
Absolutely.
strong. So that means you come from a good family upbringing, essentially.
Absolutely. But I feel like with every good, there's always a bad side.
I mean, bad is all subjective. So
It is subjective.
absolutely, I mean,
Absolutely. But let me speak on the positives for the most
Right.
part, because I
Absolutely.
feel like that's where I'm mostly founded in, is the positive moments,
Word.
because that's what kind of defines you. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Something interesting that I really heard one time was that a memory, like in like I guess it's like psychologically. I guess it's like scientific level stuff. You know what I'm saying? A memory is created when you feel a drastic change in emotion. So I look back and I kind of thought about that, and I think like okay, maybe let's say you almost got hit by a car one day, right?
Right.
And that day was like oh my goodness, I almost lost my life, and that was like. In that moment, you went from like either happy or whatever to like terrified for that moment, right? That creates a memory. And then I look back at the pattern of everything, and that's true, where you feel emotions like the most strong. That's the things that you remember. You know what I'm saying? If you're just casually going down the street and you don't feel any change in emotion or whatever, and you're just being casual, you're probably not going to remember those. Those are just going to be like the outline and details. You know what I mean? Right. But the stuff that like, say you walking down the street and you got robbed. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be something you remember because that change in emotion was crazy. That's where the memories are created.
So what's your earliest memory that you could think of? Your earliest happy memory?
My earliest. That's a good way to segue into the positive tip of what I was saying.
I kind of saw where you was going with this.
Precise, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Man. It comes full circle, right? Always.
That's dope. You know what I mean? All right, keep going. My fault.
My earliest positive memory, I would probably have to say, it's something simple. I know there's ones probably before this, but one that does stand out to me was something as simple as like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because as a child, like you don't. I don't know. You like. I feel like you don't appreciate things on a deeper level. Like you don't understand like the symbolic of like what things mean on like a deeper level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like looking back, like something even as simple as like my father teaching me how to ride a bike.
Right.
And let's say like we have like me and him have qualms or issues in our relationship.
Right.
Like you always look back to those like good base defining moments. And I feel like no matter what happens in the lineage of your relationship with somebody, the good memories will always really outlast the bad, because sometimes those are the most defining. So I just remember when I was riding my bike as a kid, my dad was like, it was just trying to make me a man, you know, basically. Like I would fall off and I like scrape the hell out of my knee, whatever, you know. And then just in that moment, he's just like, you know, just do your thing, like just hop back on and do it again and do it again.
Just get up, brush it off.
Yeah, but that's a real simple memory. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone has that defining memory, but I feel like that's classic. You know what I'm saying? That's archetypal. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny, man. I was talking to my sister about this one day. I was just like, I don't really remember what my first like, you know, grand memory was, right? Like most people would be like, yo, I went to Disney World when I was 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be, right? That's your earliest great memory. Yeah. My earliest, I want to say, comforting memory was like me just crossing the street with my mom.
Right.
Just like about to go hop on the 28 bus. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just holding my hand. We used to live on Goodale Road in Mattapan, and we're just crossing Blue Hill Ave to hop on the 28
it's that nostalgia
to go wherever it is that we're going. You know what I mean? Right. And exactly that's what it is, right? It was a very harmless, might seem meaningless to some people, but
precisely.
But it was a comforting memory. Right?
Something everyone's done,
right? But
like it just means something significant because it's like
because I was with my mom.
Precisely, exactly,
right,
precisely.
Right. So all right, so with that type of upbringing, man, like you know, grew up as a regular kid. I can imagine, right? You do regular shit, play sports.
So this is the funny part, is that it's far from regular.
Okay.
Right. So my parents, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
I mean, how's that not normal? It's just not normal for most.
It's see, now this is the thing, is that I'm not gonna speak in any direction on it. I'm just gonna give the facts.
Right.
The main thing that I feel like kind of was like a dark side of my childhood is like, as a Jehovah's Witness, like I said, I'm not speaking any. I just want to like make it clear, like I'm not speaking any malintent on anything. Absolutely, good, no. I'm just making it clear because I just want to be.
Everybody has their own opinion.
I want to be respectful to beliefs.
In the U.S., man, freedom of speech is
absolutely,
and that's why we could do shit
incredible,
like this,
right? Absolutely,
and we could do what we say. I understand you don't want to offend some people.
Of course, I just want to respect everybody's beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Freely, dog.
So. Jehovah's Witnesses, there's a few things, there's a few different like aspects to it that kind of, I feel like, molded my view of the world, and kind of, I don't know, I don't want to speak a specific opinion, but you can kind of gather your own, I guess, conclusion from it, right? So you're not supposed to be friends or associate with anybody who's not a Jehovah's Witness. So, and that's like, it seems like, okay, yeah, you could say that, but like in practice, it's like it's a very like big part of the dedication of like following the tenets of the religion, you know? So like me sitting down in this interview room, or even me pursuing a musical career in the first place, may be something that's frowned upon because it involves too much like secular communication. Like me sitting down with you, you don't have the same beliefs as me. You know what I mean? So and so's in the room as well, and I can't be with them because they don't have the same beliefs as well. And the only thing that I feel is like genuinely problematic with that whole mindset is just like, it's not like they always say, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're good people. We don't doubt that they're good people. We don't doubt that they have like, that they're moral people, whatever. It's just they don't believe the same thing as we do.
They ain't us.
And the thing that I realize is just like, there's no, when you have that kind of mindset, there's no room for anything for the most part. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, you don't even consider like the next person, and it's almost like you start to only consider the people who believe the same thing as you. And it almost seemed like paradoxical how it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like reverted. Like you wanna a religion could preach about how they want to have unity, and they want have people have like a unity of belief, but then in order to reach those people, in order to get those people to believe whatever you're believing or see on the same page as you got to engage with them, you got to, you know what I'm saying, you got to talk with them, you got to be regular humans and interact with them, but that's not even in their in their preset. Like,
yo, you know what's crazy, son? Like I'm literally looking at you right now like, yo, I did not expect this conversation to get here.
Okay,
right? And no, and it's not a bad thing. I'm just like, I didn't see this shit coming.
I appreciate
you know what I mean?
it.
Like, I thought you was gonna tell me, like, yeah, man, me and my dad be out here throwing the fucking football around and shit like that. And, you know, but yeah. So as far as, you know, that upbringing with being in a Jehovah's Witness household, you felt like that kind of hindered you from doing certain things that you wanted to do. Is that where you're kind of getting at?
So yeah, and I'll give like a specific example. So when I was younger, I had a really close friend that I met in second grade. Okay. And I feel like toward like earlier in my life, I guess it was just like my household was less rooted in those like principles and whatnot. And maybe like the seriousness kind of took a whole new meaning as like maybe my folks got older and as my family got older and things were, you know what I'm saying? Because it's usually a familial thing. If like your mom and dad are Jehovah's Witnesses, usually it's going to be your grandmother, your aunt and uncle.
Everybody.
Not necessarily always, because there's definitely exceptions, but usually like the whole family is raised like that. Like it's very rare to have a household where it's like two Jehovah's Witness parents and then they just allow their kid to do like to believe what they want. Like if you have a child, it's like it's a given. Like you are raising them as a Jehovah's Witness and there is no question, you know what I mean? So I guess it was a little bit less strict in my household in the very beginning. But then as I got older, so what I was talking about my friend is that I used to spend so much time with him. You know, I would sleep over his house, you know what I mean? Like, and as a kid, those are exactly, those are defining memories. And that's just like regular kid stuff. Those were like highlights. And for kids, you know, like you hang out now with your with your people when you're like older as a teenager, it's cool. But the novelty is not the same as when you're a child. Because when you're a child, you know what I'm saying, having a sleepover, staying up all night, eating snacks, drinking soda, just playing video games. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is like exactly that's what kids live for. You know what I'm saying? That's like a kid's dream. So like the simple stuff like that was very defining. But at one point or another, after a few years, my parents, I feel like they kind of started to limit my connection with that person less and less and less and less, to the point where it had been a period of time. I think I was in a disagreement. I never told nobody this. I was in a period of like disagreement.
CWTFB radio exclusive, right?
Absolutely. Hey, this is exclusive information, and this is good. It's important, right? So I think I was having a disagreement with the friend that I'm talking about,
right?
And I neglected.
How old were you around that time?
I had to have been like 13, 12, 13, maybe 14.
Yeah.
But it had been lessening as I was going to 13 and then 14, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's say I'm like 13, 14 at this time. you know what I'm saying? I started to realize like what was happening. Like I started to realize that like it was being cut off little by little, and it wasn't like coincidental. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I was about to explain to you, is that I was having a disagreement with my friend, and almost I think foolishly, I realized like I can just take a break and not hang with my friend. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you don't want to like not hang with your friend and have a disagreement. But I was kind of doing my own thing, so I took a break and I didn't go to his house for a little while. And through that disagreement and through taking that break, I always regret that, because that was like the time period where it was like, okay, this is perfect timing for him to cut off that relationship. As hard as it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's been like a week, you haven't been to so and so's house. Oh, you can't go there anymore because, and it kind of boiled down to this, and this is the most frustrating part, is that like you look at the book. You look at the Bible, you look at any of the books based off the scriptures that they publish, and there really is like it's such a hard dilemma, because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It says it clear in layman terms, like you need to follow this in order to gain everlasting life or to be resurrected,
whatever the goal is.
Precisely, right? But like it's a pretty strict lifestyle overall,
right?
And like it's so hard because
it's a lifestyle of faith, man. You gotta really believe that shit. You
gotta
make it your life.
You have to really believe it, and it's like it almost puts you in the position like, oh, if I don't want to live my life in this specific really like, I don't even say really, but I want to live my life in this specific way. If I don't want to do that, like, oh, I don't love God, or I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's either this or that. Like, there's no middle ground.
You
like,
didn't see it like that.
There's, yeah, exactly. I feel like that's just the viewpoint in the Jehovah's Witness religion.
Of course. That's what I'm saying.
There's absolutely no, like, it's either you believe it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And, what the way it's, I guess it's viewed in their religious organization is that there's the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then anybody else in the world who's not a Jehovah's Witness they're called part of the world, or they're like a worldly person.
That is so funny.
And for real,
and man over here laughing. He's probably heard this shit before, right?
I probably have told him before to an extent, but you know what I mean? It's like. And I'm not saying it in a way like, oh, that's just like a joke. Like,
no,
like,
I'm not saying that.
No,
it's a joke.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying like, oh, like that's just like a little joke that they say. Like that's like part of like everyday speech. Like it's the mindset is like us versus them.
What a lot of people don't know is that my mom was Jehovah's Witness for like a very brief period.
So you understand at least what it's about.
But my mom wasn't.
There's no disrespect to it.
Listen, like, bro, I come from a very religious family. I have an uncle who's a pastor, but. You know, my pop's side of the family grew up Baptist. You know, we're Haitians, man.
Right. So, oh, yeah, absolutely. I grew up with the Haitians. That was my friend.
95% of Haitians are either Catholic or some type of Protestant.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I get it. I understand the faith. I understand the influence of it. You know, rap was like, growing up, like when I was at my dad's crib, we couldn't even play rap. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was like I was sneaking to go to the radio to put on Shaman 94.5 real quick, just so I could hear something, because I'm 4 or 5 years old, bro, like dead ass, and I'm hearing this, and I'm like, this is crazy. What is this? Like, it's not like anything that they play in here, and they didn't even really play no music in the crib, right? So you know what I mean. So I completely understand. Yeah, I mean where you're going with this, but continue, man. You was getting somewhere.
Yeah. So I just like going back to what I was saying a little bit. I feel like there was just no wiggle room, you know? So once that friend kind of got out of my life, I literally like my circle of friends was like probably 3 friends, because at that time, I guess you could say like it was skating the line, like I said, that like middle ground that you're not supposed to be on.
Right. So this is like 3-4 years ago.
A little bit more, like it's a theme that's existed through my life for a while, for like since I was young. Right. Like I always had to be cautious, and I had to be, I guess, precarious of like
who you kept around you and things.
Exactly, precarious of who I kept around me, like like the music I listened to, which is there's no problem, and I really think that it's good to raise your kids and instill them with some set of morals.
Right.
Precisely, but it was like a whole nother being. Like it's almost difficult to put in one conversation because it's just there's so many things like because you can only hear the stories. That's all you can hear. You can't understand like the lifestyle.
Right. So and it's also from outside looking in perspective. Right. So, how did you get into hip hop then? Like what made you search for it? What made you seek for it?
So it's a pretty white like origin story. My mother, who is white, was playing some because my dad didn't really. He probably played some funky like hip hop mix jazz type stuff. I know he did when I was younger, but it was never like exclusively rap. But, you know what I'm saying? My mom grew up in the era, like, you know what I'm saying? She liked the Backstreet Boys, the Beastie Boys, and all of them, which obviously, like, not knocking anything about them, because that's definitely, they're all pioneers. Every artist has a place in the lineage of rap. But my mom played for me Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
Ice Baby.
Cliche as fuck.
Cliche, but like that's still the jam. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
And it was something simple. So what I did as like a young man, it's an earworm. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's stuck in my head. And when I first heard it, I would memorize the lyrics. Like I would go on YouTube on my parents' computer and I would like memorize the lyrics. And I would go to school and I'd be like, yo, I know this song. And I'd rap it to people. And that was just how I started. And people thought it was cool that I could do it. They weren't my lyrics. I was never claiming that they were my lyrics, but like I just thought it was cool. Like, oh, like I can like, cause the way rap it, like you can envision it, right?
That's so funny, man. Like, no bullshit. Cause I get that. Like I used to, the first rap I ever memorized was "Give Me the Loot" by Biggie.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's another example.
Was raw. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like 6 years old, and I knew the words.
And it gets stuck in you because when you, as a kid, you listen to something, you remember
it's funny.
that.
So I understand now as an adult why my parents and my guardians, I guess people who used to look after me, didn't want me listening to that because when they heard rap, that's what they heard. They wasn't listening to the Vanilla Ices.
Absolutely, they didn't care about.
They wasn't, you know what I mean? They didn't know about the Vanilla Ices. They heard big up, it's a stick up, and I'm shooting niggas quick if you hiccup. Yeah. So when you hear that, well, hell no, kids shouldn't be listening to this shit. They think all rap is like this, right? So it was just
group it. Yeah.
It was right. It was content that was misconstrued as something that's all around for the whole genre, and they said, nah, you can't do this, right? So you start listening to that, and then how did that evolve? Like when did you say that I want to do this?
Like, cause Vanilla Ice, like Ice Baby, is like it's not a vulgar song
at all.
So and that was cool. Like that era of hip hop was cool too because a lot of songs didn't rely on all the swearing. Like some did, some didn't. You know what I'm saying? There was their segments like Tribe Called Quest, who you know what I'm saying, who had hits and who had records, that were not like
they didn't need to do all of that.
Exactly.
Right?
They
that just wasn't their style.
They just did what they had to do. You know what I'm saying? They kept it clean. So my parents had no problem with that at the time, and it was just acceptable just in general because it was like a low-key thing. Okay. The next song that I listened to was "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
Okay.
And I know again this is like double white. It cannot get whiter than this. I swear I'm mulatto.
Man over here knocking his head like it's white as fuck. Yeah.
It's just like I'm just gotta be honest though. I gotta be honest about where I came from.
And that's shit, man.
It's not about where you start. It's not about. It's where you're at.
Speak your truth, bro. Speak your truth, man. And I'm glad that you're doing this because being a white rapper, like realistically, and just hip hop itself is becoming more common now.
That's
right?
a fact.
But the thing is, whenever a rapper's half black, they're no longer white. They're black, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But you look white. You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So that's the thing.
I want to speak on that too.
So the fact that you're telling me this, because what usually happens when you look at a half black, half white rapper, like just the idea of it is that they have to choose one side.
Exactly.
Or the other, right?
Yeah, that's a very
whereas it's
point.
like you're basically telling us that that's not what really happened. Like you was open to both sides.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. That's a fact. And I haven't even got to the other piece. You know what I'm saying?
I keep cutting you off.
No. You good? No. I'm not.
Go ahead.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm actually like really surprised right now. So keep going.
Absolutely, for sure, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So then I heard, it was just about like at the time that I got exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like things come at certain times. And I had heard the Vanilla Ice and Eminem record first. And I learned the lyrics to the Eminem record too. And I would rap it at lunch to people. And it was, you know what I'm saying? Like people thought it was cool. And I figured at one point or another, I remember, shout out to my 4th grade teacher, Miss Creedon, because
shout out Miss Creedon, yeah.
Exactly. Shout out Miss Creedon. And I know one day, that this video is definitely going to be, you know what I'm saying? She's going to appreciate that for sure, because everyone has an origin story, you know what I'm saying? I just think it's funny. It starts off in the classroom, you know what I'm saying? And she tells us write a poem about winter.
Okay.
And I still remember it to this day.
You want to spit it?
Absolutely. Again, shout out Miss Creedon. Thank you for like fostering this idea in my head. Appreciate you for that. It was real short, real simple. I said, winter snow. All you should see is Roman dough. You won't like the cold if you're really, really old. Hats and mittens, hugging little kittens. And that was pretty much it.
How old were you when you wrote that?
I probably I was like 10 or 11 at the time. Well, 4th grade, that's 9. Okay. You're 9 years old?
Yeah, 4th grade, you're either like 9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was a young buck, you know what I'm saying? And that was just like, obviously, like I said, that change in emotion. Like I felt something when I wrote that, because it was like, that's cool. Like I mean, even though it was the corniest thing on planet Earth,
but it was relevant to you.
To me,
and it was
exactly.
real,
At my young age, it was very defining.
Right.
So that's kind of how I found out about rap, and how I kind of started out and found that that's what I wanted to do. But obviously, that's a very primitive explanation of it. It only grew from there. You know what I'm saying? I started writing more and more, releasing little things. I have a friend who I work with throughout my childhood, and we made music together, made little groups or whatever. And when I recorded my first songs, some of my first songs in his basement, you know, just like with like
when did you start recording music?
The first song that I ever recorded is still online right now. If anyone goes on SoundCloud and they look up Big Z Official, one word.
Big Z Official.
It's really so embarrassing.
Is it you? That was you, Big Z?
It was me. That's what my name started off as, Big Z, because I was a young buck. You know, I just wanted a name, something cool. It has no relevance to me.
Big Z Official.
Figured.
What was Big Z? You just chose
I don't know.
Letter?
I just figured I thought it sounded cool, but I realized in retrospect it was
kind of corny.
Random.
Right.
Oh, absolutely corny.
But you know.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You
like
start
Doctrine,
somewhere.
but keep going, man. Keep
Doctrine,
going.
yeah, absolutely. We came a long way.
So then that evolved naturally. Right?
Yeah, so it was a song called Ice Mix. That's the one that's still up.
Okay.
It was called Ice Mix. And at that time, you know, I didn't it was very basic. And honestly, at that point in time, like the collaborative process was more than 50-50. Like I didn't even put in too much effort. It would just be like my friend doing his part of the song, and then I would write a little bit, but I wouldn't finish, because at that time I wasn't too motivated, because my friend was a songwriter.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at this time, like I'm still trying to work the foundations of rapping, because I always say to people, like people can always say like, oh, singing is harder than rapping. Singing is harder than rapping. I feel like with singing, if you have the intrinsic ability to sing, it's like not that it's easy, but it almost comes more naturally. It almost becomes like
you read a lot, don't you?
Yeah, and
I
read specific things too.
You have a really good vocabulary, like a really vast vocabulary.
I appreciate
I'm impressed by it. Like,
most definitely.
I wasn't fucking using these words at 17, bro.
Right. It's studying. I knew I had to elevate.
Okay. And then, so after you recorded your first few records, man, right?
Right.
When did you say, I want to put out a project, right? I want to do this. And before you even answer that, who are your influences, right? Like who are the people that, besides, you know, I mean, you told me about Eminem. Like we spoke earlier.
So like I said, I wouldn't even consider. I mean, Vanilla Ice is like he introduced me, I guess, but it's not like an influence. That's why I skipped over him. I didn't even mention, right? I would say Eminem, Nas, Rakim, Big L, Lauryn Hill, Talib Kweli, Q-Tip, MF Doom.
Okay.
Scarface.
Okay.
What's it called? Even artists like going into like newer school. Like I know not 2 Chainz. What's his name? I'm thinking of Lil Wayne. I'll name that one first.
Okay.
Lil Wayne, he's like kind of bridging the gap. You know what I'm saying? Like early 2000s going into this new school. I feel like he's just absolutely a pioneer. Like not even
he
a
changed
question.
everything.
Everything,
he
absolutely.
changed everything about rap.
Who also changed everything is 50 Cent. Absolutely. 50 Cent. Nate Dogg. Anyone in D12, you know what I'm saying?
So you like good music, right? So you
absolutely.
have a really good ear for music. Like, and I think that was probably one of the first things that impressed me about you, right? Because I was telling you earlier, man, like you don't rap like these new age rappers, man.
Right.
And hopefully we definitely gonna get some bars, right?
Absolutely, not a question
We're gonna wrap
about
this up with some bars, cause
we will.
Yeah, yeah, you have a really, you could tell a dated influence. That's like, what year were you born?
2002.
2000.
I'm a young man, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like 50 popped in 03. You was born in 02.
Absolutely.
Right? So like that.
You discovered a little bit later. You
Right.
have to look back. That's
So
not like,
what made you want to go dig in the crates and listen to all this old stuff? Was it your parents' influence or what they played?
Absolutely.
Like, did they play like hard shit? Like it wasn't like hard hip hop. Like they was playing probably, some of the purest type things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what made you want to dig in the crates a little bit?
Well, my dad is a big jazz head.
Okay.
So like even like specific names like Art Blakey, Dizzy Gillespie, and them, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just like real like jazz, like jazz, like the pioneers, you know what I mean? I like my dad, that's what he was playing. So music for me was I don't like jazz like that much. And like to listen to in my free time, but it's about like just delving into like the concept and the history of music. I'm not interested in all the the numbers, and like I know it sounds bad, but like at least where I'm at right now in my current state of mind, I'm not into like all like the little like maybe like the numbers of music and stuff, and maybe
what
about
do you mean
like
numbers like what, like sales?
No, not about
Or you
sales.
mean like actual like music,
like music,
writing music,
like music and like the
forming a song,
exactly,
and like composing, and
precisely.
Things of that nature. Okay,
I'm a very like introspective person. I look inside myself a lot.
Right.
And I feel like my music, I want it to be the purest possible reflection of my inner self. So like, I'm not like when my parents and my dad introduced me to this jazz and whatnot, it wasn't always like, okay, I'm a like look how he composed this song and he played this note perfectly. That's what I mean by the numbers. I wasn't interested in all that. I'm interested about how music makes you feel.
I like that.
I'm interested in how music makes you feel.
Like
because at the end of the day, we're humans. We all feel. We all have emotions. And not everyone is going to understand maybe or care about this note and how this was played in that. It has its place. Okay. And people knowing that, there have to be people that know that stuff in order to give us that music that gives us those emotions. But I'm into how music makes you feel. Okay. So when my dad introduced me to that, it made me look into like the backstories of these artists. What is the pain in their life, like the trouble? Like I almost became like a young psychologist.
That's fire, man.
Of the artists that I was thinking about. You know what I mean?
That's dope. So that means, all right, so you're definitely a student to the game, man.
Absolutely.
So you being a student and you wanting to grow. Back to the question I had asked earlier.
Yes, sir.
When did you decide to put a whole project together and start really? So when you dropped your first project, were you still Big Z?
Well, when I dropped my first song, I was Big Z.
Right.
But I had became Doctrine when I dropped my first project. I had, like I said, me and my friend, kids, like every kid wants to be an astronaut. They want to start a band. They want to be famous movie star. You know what I mean? Like the simple stuff. Like we always would have concepts of like, oh, let's make this album. We would write out like all these long track lists, but never finish the songs.
Right.
Just like being kids, like thinking just like, oh, like that would be cool if we did that. But then I decided, like, I'm gonna really do this shit. I'm gonna really do this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I released my first project under the moniker Doctrine, and the name was the name of it was called The Monarchy.
Okay.
And some of the songs are still online. I still have all of them. They're still like I have them saved like online. Just not all of them are public.
How do you rate that?
Gotta dab me up for that. That's a fantastic question because I always think about that. I can finally look back now that I'm talking about it. I would probably rate it in terms of where I'm at now, probably like a 3 out of 10.
Really?
Absolutely.
So the shit was trash.
It was pretty trash.
Okay. And I'm glad you could say that.
And
my first body of work was kind of trash too.
I have to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the one thing about me as an artist is I always want to promote authenticity. Not that I want to say like everyone should like let everyone know all your business.
Right.
But the business you do let people know,
Right, you can
make
be
sure
authentic.
it's authentic.
You could be authentic and still be very exclusive. Like you don't have to you don't have to give everything.
Whatever, and like I said, whatever you do give, make it be authentic. You don't have to give everything, but whatever you choose to give, make it authentic. Because if you're not giving them everything, if you're trying to be, you know what I'm saying, if you're holding back some things, don't make what you know what I'm saying, don't make what you're giving them some foolery, some fraudulence.
I hear you.
So
Yeah, so then moving from there, man, I mean, how many projects have you dropped since?
So I dropped the Monarchy. Like I said, that was a 3 out of 10. I just didn't have any direction. I didn't have any production. It was just all around, just some scrambled together
beats?
stuff. Nah, just random YouTube beats at the time.
All right.
You know what I mean? And that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's where you start out.
What was you recording off of then?
I was, at that time, I was shout out to one of my homeboys, right? He'll know who I'm talking about. Upstairs, he had like an office space, and he had like a Blue Yeti microphone, and like a little Windows computer with Audacity.
Okay.
Real simple. And like, not to throw shade, but like there's some artists, like there's some rappers who are like still using Audacity like now.
I was using Audacity for the first few episodes of this podcast.
And that's the thing. And
nobody
it's like,
could tell. I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly. And you know what I'm saying? It's like it comes to the point where it's like, it's not a shameful thing. Like it's a good starting tool.
You can still
like,
make some good quality music on Audacity,
Precisely.
bro. Like it's
so
you probably just didn't know how to use it as well then. Like that's all it is, bro.
Because it was simple base level.
Right,
So Audacity was a perfect way to rope myself into that whole like the whole process of making music, the whole about the behind the scenes.
Right.
So I had released the Monarchy. Then after that, I released something called 180.
Okay.
And my address, the number of my address where I grew up was 180.
Okay.
Right. So 180 is also a turnaround.
Right.
I wanted the album to be a turnaround, not only of my past project, but of myself as an artist, as myself as an individual.
That's powerful.
Absolutely. And it was simple, and I felt like maybe it was a little corny at the time, but it really was it was a turning point.
It's symbolic, man. That's
it was
dope.
a turning point, for real.
How old were you then when you dropped that one?
About 14 years old.
Right, okay.
Right? And I remember I dropped it.
Now, how do you promote your stuff? Like, at that point, I mean, do you feel like you have a consistent following from then to now?
My songs, when I would post them on SoundCloud at first, I would just post them.
What was your numbers looking like?
Just in the beginning, they were, because I didn't promote it to anybody, maybe like 10, 20, you know what I mean, most.
Right.
Then I dropped the song, the album, it was the EP 180.
Right.
And I had been building up a pretty extensive Snapchat contact list. And when I dropped it, I remember calling my brother that night, my blood brother. Shout out to my blood brother, Nicholas, you know what I'm saying?
He's your older brother or a little
My
bit?
older brother. Okay. Yeah, that's my, you know what I'm saying?
How old is your older brother? How much older is he?
I think he's either 27 or 28. You know what I'm saying? You
like
lose track
10 years
sometimes.
older than you. All right, that's what's up.
So he's like old, you know what I'm saying? But that's my, you know what I'm saying? That's like, he's done so much for me. Like, shout out to him, you know what I'm saying, in every aspect.
Shout out Nick, man.
Absolutely, shout out Nick. So I had called him that night after I had sent it to everybody on my contact list, and I'm like, man, and he listened to it. He was like, man, like you're really doing something. I appreciate it. And going back to that one, I would rate that one probably like not even much higher, like a 4 or 5 out of 10, because where I'm at now. Right. But it was just the symbolic moment. Like it just makes me feel like that was a 180. That was a turning point.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So
you know what I'm saying?
You definitely saw extensive progress.
Absolutely.
Forward, and then. So after 180, you kept going. What was the third project?
After 180, I had released a single that was pretty defining with one of my close friends and a fellow artist who's actually making some noise right now, King Chizz.
King Chizz, where you from?
He's from Dorchester. Right now he's doing some schooling out of state. But shout out to King Chizz too. That's my absolute brother. You know what I'm saying? And we made a song called Rise. And it was like the first time we chopped it up as artists, you know what I'm saying? And the chemistry on the track, it was just
natural.
We was just back and forth with it, freestyling the whole song, like thinking of something, stopping, recording it. Then he does his part. We went back and forth the whole song, and it was just like it was just energy. You know what I'm just saying? Like, I know that not only can I work with myself, I can work with other artists now.
Right.
I put that song out. It did thousands of streams, which was exciting because on 180 I was getting, you know what I'm saying, hundreds but not thousands.
Right.
This song was getting thousands of streams, and that was just so exciting to me because I'm like, I was making a little money because at this point the song was called Rise. Like I said, it was on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora.
Right.
This was probably when I was 16 years old when I released this song.
Okay.
Right? And that was probably the next biggest thing because I said 2016 was 180. And then after that, 2017, when I was 16, is when I released Rise.
Okay.
And then from there, I was like, it's professional. No more SoundCloud. No more just YouTube. I'm making money off my music. And I'm going to start sharing it with the world as professionally as possible.
Okay.
And that's when Rise, it started with Rise.
Okay. So all right, that's what's up, man. That's actually really impressive, man. So right now, everybody can find your music on what? Apple Music.
They can find it Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, Yahoo Music, Amazon Music, literally any platform you can imagine. Like, even if it's the craziest one that you probably think nobody else uses, I'm on there, guaranteed. I made sure it's distributed everywhere. And you can just look up Doctrine, DOCTRINE. You definitely want to give it a listen.
How do you describe your music?
My music is spreading positivity through creativity and relatability.
You don't cuss?
I do. Just not.
Because I was gonna say I could have sworn I remember you cussing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
At the events.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
just listening to you talk right now, and I realize you haven't swore once.
I don't.
And it's not like
I don't need to, you know what I'm
you
saying?
don't need
Like,
to,
exactly.
right?
I don't need
just,
to, and
it's
it's
not a part of the way, you know what I mean, that you just spit out words. You know what I mean?
When I'm anything that's regarding my art,
right,
and the energy and the message I'm trying to promote,
right.
Not saying that like swearing is like makes you means that you're necessarily promoting a bad message, but just at this moment in time,
You just didn't feel
it's just like it's like all my music, like people listen to my music and like you would not even notice that I didn't swear because I don't make my music like hey guys, listen to this clean, family-friendly rap. You know what I'm saying? I'm rapping about whatever I want, but I just like my vocabulary, I feel like is not being arrogant. I feel like my vocabulary, because of hard work and studying, is expansive enough so that I don't need to necessarily revert to cuss words.
That's real.
And I want to see if people notice, and most people don't notice, but the people that do notice, I feel like they're impressed because I feel like not everyone's doing that.
I just noticed because I cuss. It's like it's my job,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
And I do it, you know. I don't realize I'm doing it. Like I realized that I swear a lot, probably about like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I was like 25, and the reason why is because I was freely just swearing while I was talking to my mother, and she didn't react.
Yeah.
And because she didn't react, it showed me that
okay.
I do this shit all the fucking time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just swore right now, like, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's but because you're talking about your creative process, my mind just started working like that, and I just noticed. I was like, oh shit, he hasn't swore like
absolutely
not once. Like, you know what I mean?
People, I always say to people that know me is that like you know me on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? I'm Alex. You feel me?
Right.
But like I just know what I gotta say in my art. If I gotta swear in a song, like I'm gonna do it. Like
right, because it's about expression. Right?
Exactly. No one
is.
is ever gonna tell me how to express my music. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So like when I feel like there's the times, like I said, Rise, the first single, that song was filthy. To be honest with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's not like it's not like okay, I'm going.
But it's just however you feeling at the time.
Precisely.
And
right
whatever
now,
you want to create.
I'm in a very artistic period.
Okay.
So I'm really just trying to get off. Like I'm trying to take away all the filler, and I'm just trying to give people like straight up raw emotion content. You know what I'm saying? Break that third wall and just like go beyond just music. I want to touch people like in their deepest, most indescribable, hard to put into word feelings, you know?
And I respect that, man. I respect you a lot as an artist, bro. Like for real. I tell a lot of people about you since I met you at Top Mix, that first Purple Heart Poetry event.
Yeah.
You were at the one that we did last night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And you killed it. And you know, being a 17-year-old in rap, right? Do you feel like that causes for people, it's like certain people to not take you as seriously?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just feel like if it's more so like people who are already predisposed to want to listen to new good music are gonna listen, and they're gonna be intrigued by the fact that I'm 17. But people who are gauging the world in terms of like, it's usually adults, honestly, who are gauging the world in terms of like age and intelligence and you know what I'm saying?
I don't
like
believe that.
And
defines your intelligence.
And people's accolades are like what defines them. It's usually the older people, and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I know they're ignorant, and they're not. If they did listen to it, like, they would hear what I have to say. But it's like, it's almost like, oh, he's a 17-year-old kid. He's just playing. You know what I mean?
But you're also a 17-year-old kid that lives on your own, right?
Exactly.
So talk to me about that, man. What made you want to make that separation from your parents?
And that's a really good question. And this isn't something I've spoken on before, and this is something I want to open up on.
Exclusives, nigga. I'm getting all types of exclusives.
All the exclusives,
tonight,
absolutely. So kind of just having the divide with the, not even like disagreements religiously, but kind of just the expectational parts of it, and just like the anxiety that came with it. Because another thing is, like, I feel like it's very stigmatized, especially in like the black community. Because like growing up with my father who's black, it's like mental health is almost like, it's not really like a thing sometimes. It's almost like oh, like everything is within the capacity to be controlled by your logic and thought process and being a man and this and that. Not considering that like through having a, and that's real, and I'm being honest with you, and I've seen both sides, like I said, because it's a fact that like what I've seen, like my mother would be way more apt to listen to things about mental health. Right. I feel like I don't want to make it a racial thing.
It's some real shit.
It's a fact in the white community. You know what I'm saying?
It's regular. Like people go to therapists and shit like that.
Exactly.
We don't fuck with that.
Take antidepressants, and then you bring it up to maybe like a black father or something. A child goes to their black father saying, "I feel depressed." They're like, "Oh, what are you talking? Like, what's that shit?" Right, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not even the thing.
So was that relevant in your?
I think so, to an extent, because I feel like if I had told my father or I told my parents that I was having some sort of mental like distress, they would believe it and they would help me in that specific, like if I told them directly. But the thing that was the bigger issue is that the toxic traits and the things that create mental distress is the things that they were perpetuating and doing. And that's the thing, is that like, okay, like imagine
like
this.
Unknowingly, like they didn't realize they were doing it?
I feel like they, to an extent, but it was like so ingrained in their spirit and just their being.
Right,
like imagine
and their beliefs.
Imagine me and you talking right now. Like imagine outside of this conversation, right? I was always like, you know what I'm saying? I was always like rude to you. I was always like disrespecting you. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third, right? But you came to me, you know what I'm saying? Like we're friends and you're still my friend. I always disrespect you, right? That's like the kind of dynamic we have, right? And you're kind of getting fed up with it a little bit, right? But then you come to me with some sort of problem that you have, and I'm like, oh, I got you. I'm gonna help you through this and this, right? It kind of creates that like that thought process, like, are they here to help me or are they here to hurt me? Like at the time, I'm being rude to you, I'm being disrespecting you, I'm putting you down, but then I'm like, I want to help you with your problems. It's like you're kind of like, it's almost like.
It's mind control.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, it's like digging a hole and then putting the dirt right back in it. And it's like,
manipulation,
okay,
real talk.
I'm gonna help you, but I'm gonna also hurt you. Help you, and then I'm gonna hurt you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It was that dynamic. So I feel like that was more so the thing, not necessarily them like not turning a blind eye, but that's when I feel like the black stigma came in, like, oh, like me hitting my child, me like, you know, because I feel like it's like a thing like, oh, you know, white parents let their kids do anything, black parents like, I'll whoop that ass, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just like how it is.
Was that how your household was though?
When I was growing up, especially, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the belt, everyone knows the belt,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Your mom was the good cop, your dad was the bad cop.
More often than not, it fluctuated, but in terms of what I'm speaking on, like right now, exactly, that's how it kind of went, right? So in those moments, it's like I said, that's where the stigma came in, like, oh, like I'll whoop my child's ass, whatever, that's gonna set him straight. Like there's not even like the thought or the concept, like, could I be like hurting my child like mentally, like that concept is like, oh, like you're being ridiculous, like you're that's the craziest thing in the world. Like that's not even in the realm of possibility. It's like mental health is not even on the radar.
Right.
That was a huge piece, going back to answer the original question of why I chose to leave, to get that mental peace. And honestly, now, no disrespect, because you know what I'm saying, I love my mother, I love my father. There is no there's no like
animosity.
Exactly. There's no animosity between us at the moment. Right. You know what I mean? Just a little separation. And honestly, like all it is just to get mental clearance, mental freedom. And it has nothing to do with me being, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like some parents thinking like, oh, he just wants to be free to do whatever he wants and do this and that and party and all that. But my mindset is just, I want to be able to just have some sort of like safe space in my own head. Because when you're in an echo chamber of people who aren't realizing that sometimes they may be doing stuff that hurts you, the only person you have is yourself. Absolutely. And Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not allowed to have anybody else around. So who do you have? Only the people that are Jehovah's Witnesses. Only your parents in this instant. In my instance, it's only my parents. I don't have the friend that I can tell what's going on. They're looking down on my brother because maybe he's not a Jehovah's Witness. I have nobody but myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? So then going through that so long, having that mental distress, I finally had to move out of there just to be, you know what I'm saying, and just make my own thing happen. It's kind of, I went back for a very, very brief period of time, but the whole episode of my life of me like trying to get a little bit of mental clearance and just trying to find a little peace of myself and not be anxious and all that. You know what I mean? It's probably been over the last 6 months.
Okay. Now, as far as that, you know, you having your own space and things of that nature, like you being 17, what are you, a senior?
I am a senior.
So how is that affecting your schoolwork?
It is. Are
you like a studious student? Like is that something that you take pride in? Like you get good grades?
I have my flaws when it comes to my grades. Most of my low grades and whatnot are a result of just me just not like doing the work. Like it's not a matter of like I just can't understand this. You know what I mean?
You're not challenged. You're not interested.
To be honest with you, and it's like it sounds like okay, that's a cop out. Nobody's interested. You got to do the schoolwork, but it's just like I just really that is my problem. Like if I were to name a problem, it's just like I just don't care. Like if I go home, I'm usually not thinking like, oh, I want to go do this homework.
Nobody wants to do homework, dog.
But like I'm trying to like if I'm doing my music thing, and it's like, do I stay home and do this homework and study for this, or do I go out and further my career by connecting or making some networking at this event? Right. I'm thinking long term. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
If I can pass in school and not get like top of the class, I don't really care, to be honest.
So you're
with you.
passing.
I am passing.
All right, that's all that matters. Shit, fuck it.
I missed them school. Appreciate you.
I don't look.
I am passing,
bro. I'm so you.
For the record, Doctrine is passing.
All right, you passing. That's all that matters. So, your goal is not college.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you're gonna graduate this upcoming,
June, I believe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So then from that point, what is the rest of 2020 supposed to look like for you? What are your plans, man?
Like I said, this is another exclusive. This is very, very exclusive information. That
exclusive.
Right after I graduate,
radio.
the plan, only my closest friends know this.
Oh shit, now everybody's gonna know it.
Is now that I'm moving to Los Angeles.
Okay. LA.
With my brother.
LA.
Who I was talking about, who lived in Massachusetts, but he's been living out there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's not like a fantasy. It's set in stone.
So listen, man, that's fire. I commend you for that, for taking that risk.
Thank you.
Taking the leap of faith and going out there. It's dope that you have your brother out there.
Very helpful.
You know, that's big, bro. You know, he's gonna steer you in the right direction.
Always.
Make sure that you're doing what you got to do. What is your end goal, right? Because we've been having a really good conversation, and I'm just looking at the time, and I want to get some bars.
Absolutely. My end goal. That's a good way to end it.
The end goal for you, right? Like, listen, you have my full support, bro. Like, for real, you got shows you want me to be at, you let me know.
Word, thank you.
You got events that you want me to help you promote, you let me know.
It's only going to be more and more, man.
Anytime
bigger and bigger.
You want to come back to CWTFB Radio, you got a spot, bro.
Appreciate
my
you.
full support.
Love and respect.
I'm impressed. I'm a fan, like, dead ass. Dead ass a fan
appreciate
of Doctrine, bro. Like, anything you drop, I'm going to support it.
Thank you.
And the sky's the limit, bro. And then whatever, that's cliche as fuck, right? You can say that, but realistically, you're very young. You have a lot of talent.
Right.
Those small disciplines, as far as the shit that you don't want to do,
you
just gotta fucking do it. And I get that.
Just gotta,
I get that. I was there, bro.
I really don't have no excuse, to be honest with you.
Like,
that's a
because
fact.
those small disciplines is what's gonna help you take on like shit that seems simple, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's those small disciplines is gonna really define your work ethic, how you move forward with everything, your artistry, everything, bro. Your mental, even your physical, because you told me you was in the bodybuilding. We didn't even get into that,
right?
But,
that's a whole other piece.
But it helps with everything, and I feel like the most important times to do something is when you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's when it makes the biggest difference. But going to LA, man, like, what are you looking to accomplish out of that? Do you want to stay independent? You thinking about ownership, or are you looking for a label break? Like, what do you think is the right move for you?
I'm a big believer in whatever happens and whatever occurs is like, if it happens, like if something happens to me, if an opportunity comes up, it happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
If an opportunity gets messed up, it happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
It proves, it rings true any day of the week, 24/7.
But that's also not a reason to just be like, fuck it, whatever happens.
No. I don't think that either. It's just it's the feeling associated with it. Like I'm saying, like maybe not like an opportunity just like pops up, but like when a certain opportunity pops up and it's like surreal and like it really like overtakes you, like
absolutely.
This opportunity, like when an opportunity is the right opportunity.
Right.
So in terms of that, like, and I know I'm gonna end up at the end of the day. I know I'm gonna end up where I want to be.
Opportunity, right.
So no matter what, I know I'm gonna be diligent. I've done my research. I've studied. I'm still learning. I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of life. I'm a student of humans. I'm a student of everyone's. You know what I'm saying? I try to analyze everything, and I know that using my knowledge and using that wisdom and whatnot, I'm gonna get where I need to be. And there's no question in my mind that I'm gonna get there.
And I believe you, bro.
I appreciate that.
And that's what Choose What the Future Brings is all about, bro. You choose what the future
comes perfectly
brings,
full
like,
circle to what you're
definitely
all about.
You embody that, man, and I'm excited to see what happens next, man. Like, you're gonna be at the next Purple Heart Poetry event.
I
That's
will.
March 9th for those of you who haven't been.
Make sure y'all pop out. Absolutely.
I mean,
Bring a crowd.
I've been hosting these Purple Heart Poetry events with my man Steve Tellum. That's my guy. I've known him since I was about 12 years old.
Shout out Steve, man.
You know what I mean? That's my guy. He's a brilliant mind. So when he has an idea and I can help in any way, I'm there. So,
Definitely.
His platform and my platform are like night and day. You know what I'm saying? Because mine, I'm way more raw than Steven is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just our natures, and we balance off well with each other. But if you haven't been, man, March 9th is going to be the next one. Doctrine's going to be there. Def pull up.
Absolutely.
Bring your peoples, man. It's going to be at Suya Joint in Roxbury, right on Dudley Street.
Always worth the visit.
Absolutely, bro. You've been there. You've rocked the crowd. Like, you're a fan favorite over there, bro. You know
Appreciate that.
You know that, right? You see who's there, right? So yeah, man. We're gonna get into these bars.
Let's do that.
You got a beat in mind?
Anything. Yeah.
Yo, CWTFB Radio. We with Doctrine.
Y'all ain't seen a 17-year-old kicking on the old school beats like this, right?
Come on. Do your thing.
Huh. Yeah, you ain't seen me on the beats like this, beef like this. Seen how I can eat like this, how I've been sleeping in the bags and in the streets like this. And they be sleeping in no lag, and I can't treat like this. And I can't treat no woman, and I can't show no love. And I can't see no loving, and I can't go no above. And I be telling myself something, I came from heaven. And I don't know what they saying since I was wearing Jordan 11s and Jordan 11s. Like I'm sporting from heaven. I got the new things, you know the bread is always leavened. We always rising, we rising it up. We rising on high rises, the way we flying them up. Matter of fact, we tie up, we could tie up the duck, but Daffy Duck keep on talking when I'm rolling the Dutch.
Okay.
If you laughing at me quickly, then I came and I don't duck. And I don't know because you know that I was shooting no duck. And they be talking like the tuck rule, I don't give stuck. And they be inside of the thing and all these other rappers suck. And I'ma keep it real simple, pop it like a pimple. Matter of fact, the shorties like the curly hair and dimples. They just wanna talk and I can get it like a pimp though. I ain't never pimp walk, I just wanna pimp slow. Feel like I was Pimp C, way they talking down, they wanna riddle me. I can never talk, they gotta get it like the liturgy. They see lots of things and they can never see the energy. They just wanna get close to me and try to be friend of me. They could never be a friend of me because they my enemy. They my enemy, the way they talking, I can't send to me. They be sending me message, I ain't even gon' sensing me. They be sensing 1, 2, and I just know I'm sensing 3. I got all 3 senses, I drive all 3 cars, and they be all 3 Benzes, and they all look cool, and they be all look friendless. And I can go ahead, man, because I don't break friendship, and I don't break bread, unless it's with all of my brothers. And I don't give head into no shorty, but she loving, I don't give head. And I don't know what they be saying, cause these shorties wanna talk, but I can always go replay it. Yeah, and I don't know what shorty's saying. She was saying something crazy, but I don't know. I replayed it. When I replayed the snap, I replayed it back. And she talking crazy, I don't know, she threw it back. And if I throw it up, and I can't throw no cup, and I can go ahead like double dutch, I rolled the Dutch. I already said that, I guess that's a double Dutch. And I just came up with the cup, I just doubled up like some deviled eggs, devil us. And they can never get it, cause they never friends to us. Friends to us, the bend looks so friendship, and I don't know, cause they be talking when I push it up. And I ain't talking about no push-up bra. Shorty look good, I know that shorty abroad. Shorty go ahead, I stand and applaud. Way she clap it and matic, it's automatic like God. I don't know when I be saying, cause they go at it raw. Think that I didn't get it, but I can catch it and flaw. And I can catch it as flawless, even though it got some flaws. I don't know they talking, cause you know I am the boss. I get lots of things, I'm smoking on the raw. On the raw backwards, you know it's all God. It's all on God, I go ahead like Allah. They just be talking, I know I came, no shaw, no shaman. The way I'm talking, no violence, no violin. The way I play it, no sirens, no time in. The way I wanna go and time it, but no time out. I came out like I am Thomas the Tank Engine. I keep revving. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. I said 11. Remember in the start when I said Jordan 11s, and how I said them Jordan 11s was sporting from heaven. No more inside the mortuary. They talking inside the reverend. Speaking up to the reverend, I came up with all the 7s, 3 7s. It's 3 weeks. It take 21 days just to get noticed. And get noticed when I get colder. I get colder when I go ahead and give them all cold shoulders. I throw them all some big boulders. Matter of fact, they say I'm so big and burly cause I got big shoulders. And I don't know because the hat's off. It's hats off, looking black and strong like I was black strong. And I don't know because you know I got the arms on. Shout out to my brothers and you know we got it going on.
My man played, he rapped to the beat end, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He rapped to the beat end, man. Doctrine. You the fucking realest, bro. Should we keep going?
If you want to give me another beat,
say no more, my nigga.
We going in for number 2.
Yep. Let's go.
It's all the melody.
Listen out, Pluto.
Yeah, Yeah, it's all a melody. And I be moving when they coming ahead like 100 degrees. Yeah, I'm moving it up, they ain't moving me. Cause I keep going and I know I moved the keys. I moved the sticks, I ain't talking like I moved the bricks. I moved the shit and they be talking, I ain't moved the clip. Yeah, and I be rocking with my click though. And that's the thing when we can get it cause we big dogs. And cause we big dogs, we came up with some big noise. We moving with some big weight when we gotta get some big hogs. Gotta get a lot of things cause we rough riding. It's new things, gotta get it when I came tying. Yeah, it's perfect timing with the melody. I came again and I can get it like 100 degrees. I said it again and I came up and when I came it's freeze. I am so cold but you know all these bars gon' come for free. Yeah, because you know that the bars come for free. And I get things and that these people wanna come for me. Yeah, but I ain't feel that energy. And I get things and they can go ahead, no friends of me. And I'm only friends of the real ones, I'm a friend of G. And I don't know because I'm a God to Jesus peace. Jesus peace, and I ain't seen it, but I got the least. I ain't seen the least, I make these other people believe. Until I drop the music, make these other people release. And I can make them all drop the songs you wouldn't want to see. You wouldn't want to see because I'm changing up the competition. And I can go at the same speed as a Bugatti engine. And it got hot the way I'm talking, and you said to listen. They gotta listen when I put them all in a submission. It's all submission when I came with it. I came with it like a 1, 2, 3. I came with game with it. I came with game with it. You just brought the same image. I brought the oven on. I just brought the flame with it. The flame hidden, keeping inside the dame with it. They talk down like Dame Dollar. You lame stricken, lame stricken. You came through with the game with it. The game with it. They came through. You can't play with it. Yeah, and I can see about the sentence. Yeah, I say the words till they remember it. They be talking cause I came with them remembrance. And they be talking cause I came up with the bestness. The bestness, because you know I beat the restness. Matter of fact, I gotta go and beat up on my chestness. Yeah, I used to wanna make cuts across the chest until I picked up a bench press. Then I made myself better than the best. And that's worth to JD, and that's worth to the people that wanna go and play me. And they just wanna play the music. If you see it one time inside a video, you better use it. If I don't use the content, I'm gonna lose it. If I see my shot, man, I gotta shoot it. Like I said, the jump is about the melody. I'ma say it to all these people, remember me. I'm getting it hot, you know I'm getting 100 degrees. And they be talking off the top when they running with me. Yeah, and I can go ahead, relinquish her. I be coming, I put the fire out with extinguishers. All of these extinguishers, I can't even minute maybe I get miniature. I get miniature, but they talking, they never heard the verse. They ain't heard the verse and they rate it before they heard it first. I don't know they talking because you know that they ain't heard the worst. Heard the worst, and if you heard the best, then you ain't heard the worst. Cause you ain't heard the worst, I be talking first and first. Matter of fact, I'ma put the first verse inside the first hearse. Get it opted with the first nurse. You can get copped up and dropped up inside the first hearse. I know how the first works. I know how the second is. I came with the third and the fourth, and I brought a second blizz. I'ma get the fifth and the sixth, and I brought a seventh blend. Matter of fact, I got a shorty about to bring a seventh in.
Motherfucker. Yo, let's go. Yeah.
Did I get? Is that a little bit better than? You know what I'm saying? I had to give them both flavors.
Yo, listen. You went old school. Then you went new school.
Yes, sir.
I respect it. I respect it straight off the top.
Off the top.
That was probably one of the illest things that I remembered about you the first time I met you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Because you spit some shit that you had, like some real songs.
I just went off,
and then you just went off. And I don't even think a lot of people realize that you was just going off the top at first.
Definitely not. It went over the head.
And I'm over here just geeked, yo, this kid is amazing. Right. What the fuck? When you walked in and you was like, I'm over here look at this fucking good ass, you know what I mean, well-spoken kid, hi, I'm Alexander. And I'm like, so I introduced you as Alexander.
Right, yeah. Right? Which is,
And I totally forgot that you was Doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Start out, for sure.
And, but first expressions, they say everything, man. It goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Like I said, bro, you definitely somebody I'm gonna be checking for, man. You got my full support.
Absolutely appreciate you, brother.
CFB Radio loves you, dog. You're part of the MaSheen militia now.
I'm gonna come back.
So next time you come, you gotta come clipped up. Figuratively speaking, though.
Figuratively speaking.
I don't listen. And by the way, man, y'all know how I get on this. He's not drinking what I'm drinking. All right, just for the record, he's drinking this shit. All right, fuck. But anyway, CWTFB Radio.
Respect.
Man, Doctrine.
Absolutely.
You're definitely going to choose what the future brings, man. It was a great talk, man. I appreciate you for coming
Appreciate you,
tonight,
bro.
man.
Absolutely.
Anything you need, you let me know, man. We in your corner, man.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you.
You already know. We out.